The rain fell hard on the black umbrellas at Osu Cemetery in Accra. It was a Saturday morning, and hundreds of people came to say goodbye to Kwame Mensah, the Cocoa King of Ghana. Abena stood at the front, wearing expensive black lace from Paris. She was 32 years old, tall and beautiful. Her mother, Auntie Comfort, stood beside her crying loudly. Abena didn't cry. She had her father's hard eyes. "I am the legitimate daughter," Abena whispered to her mother. "Everything should be mine." Across the cemetery, a young man watched from under a tree. His name was Kofi. He was 28, wearing a cheap black suit that was too big for him. His mother, Auntie Grace, held his hand tightly. "Your father loved you," she whispered. "Never forget that." Kofi's jaw was tight. Then why did he hide me my whole life? Near the grave, a young woman stood alone. Her name was Essie. She was 24, wearing a simple black dress. People whispered about her. "Who is she?" "I heard she's also his daughter." "From where?" Essie heard them. She was used to whispers. Her mother died 2 years ago without telling anyone who Essie's father was. Only a letter revealed the truth. The pastor spoke about Mr. Mensah's great success. How he started with one small cocoa farm in the eastern region and built it into a $4 billion empire. How he employed 50,000 people. How he was a pillar of the community. But the pastor didn't talk about his 3 children from 3 different women who were meeting for the first time at his funeral. 1 week later, they gathered at the law offices of Quarty and Associates on Independence Avenue. The office was on the 15th floor with a view of the ocean. Lawyer Ya Quarty was 35 years old, handsome, and known as the best lawyer in Accra. He wore gold-rimmed glasses and a perfectly tailored suit. "Please, everyone sit," he said calmly. Abena sat in the middle, taking the best chair. Kofi sat far away by the window. Essie sat near the door, ready to run if needed. Their mothers sat behind them, like soldiers ready for war. Ya opened a brown envelope and pulled out papers. "The last will and testament of Kwame Mensah," he began. "Written on January 15th, 2024, and witnessed by myself and Dr. Amarty of Ridge Hospital." Everyone leaned forward. "To my 3 children, Abena, Kofi, and Essie, I leave my entire cocoa business, Mensah Cocoa Enterprises, valued at $4 billion. Auntie Comfort smiled. Abena relaxed. But Ya continued. "The business will be divided into 3 equal parts. 1/3 to Abena, 1/3 to Kofi, 1/3 to Essie." "What?" Auntie Comfort jumped up. "This is nonsense. Abena is the legal child, the others are. "Mother, sit down," Abena said coldly, but her hands were shaking. Kofi's mother started crying. "My son deserves this. He suffered because of this man." Essie said nothing. She couldn't believe it. 1/3 of $4 billion. That was over $1.3 billion. Ya raised his hand. "Please, there's more." He read on. "However, there is one condition. My 3 children must work together to run Mensah Cocoa Enterprises for exactly 2 years. They must all agree on major decisions. If any one of them quits, or if they cannot work together, the entire business will be sold, and all the money will go to charity." The room exploded. "This is a joke. We can't work together. We don't even know each other. Why would he do this?" Ya waited for the shouting to stop. Then he said quietly, "There's one more thing. Mr. Mensah left each of you a personal letter. You can read them in private." He handed each of them an envelope with their name written in their father's handwriting. Abena grabbed hers and walked out. Kofi took his and left without looking at anyone. Essie held hers like it was made of glass. She had never received a letter from her father. She had never received anything from him at all. Abena's letter. "My dear Abena, you are strong like your mother and smart like me. I gave you the best schools, the best life, but I also gave you pressure to be perfect. I'm sorry for that. I know you think you should inherit everything because you are legitimate, but legitimacy is just a paper. Love is what makes family. Your brother and sister suffered because of my mistakes. Help them, learn from them. You have my business mind, but they have things you need too. Don't let pride destroy what I built. Your father. Abena read it 3 times in her Mercedes-Benz in the parking lot. Then she tore it up. Kofi's letter. My son Kofi. I failed you. I was a coward who hid you because I was afraid of what people would say. Your mother loved me, and I loved her, but I chose reputation over family. You grew up without a father, and that is my greatest shame. You are creative and kind. You see solutions where others see problems. The business needs that. Work with your sisters, especially Abena. She is harder than she looks, but she is also lonely. And Essie, protect her. She has been through too much already. I can't give you the childhood you deserved, but I can give you a future. Your father, who loves you. Kofi cried in his car for an hour. Essie's letter. Precious Essie. You don't know me, but I have watched you from far away your whole life. When your mother refused my money, I respected her choice, but it broke my heart. You are gentle but not weak. You have your mother's faith and goodness. I know this will be hard. Abena will look down on you. Kofi will be angry, but you have something they don't. You know what it's like to have nothing. Never forget that. This money is not just for you to enjoy. Use it to help people like your mother, people who struggled. You are my daughter. You always were. Papa. Essie cried too, but they were different tears. She finally had proof that she mattered to someone. 2 days later, they met at the Mensah Cocoa headquarters in East Legon. It was a massive glass building with the company logo, a golden cocoa pod on the front. Workers stared as the 3 heirs walked in. Everyone knew the drama. The boardroom was on the top floor. Ya was already there with the company's CFO, a serious man named Mr. Donker. Welcome, Ya said. Please sit, we have a lot to discuss. Abena sat at the head of the table. I'll be CEO, she announced. I have an MBA from Oxford and 10 years of business experience. Kofi laughed bitterly. Of course you put yourself in charge. Do you have a better idea? Abena shot back. What's your qualification? You run a small advertising agency with 5 employees. At least I built something myself, Kofi shouted. I didn't just spend Daddy's money. Essie raised her hand timidly. Excuse me. Not now, Abena said. Essie's face fell. Ya intervened. According to the will, you must all agree on the CEO position. If you can't agree in 30 days, the board will choose someone from outside the family. That got their attention. Mr. Donker cleared his throat. If I may. We have an urgent problem. Goldstein International has made an offer to buy Mensah Cocoa for $4.5 billion. The board is considering it. $4.5 billion. Kofi's eyes went wide. That's more than it's worth. Exactly, Mr. Donker said, which makes it suspicious. Goldstein is known for buying companies, stripping their assets, and firing everyone. Your father refused to sell to them 3 times. Abena frowned. When do they need an answer? 2 weeks. We should sell, Kofi said. Take the money and split it, then we don't have to work together. No, Abena said firmly. Father built this company for 40 years. We can't just sell it to vultures. Now you care about Father's wishes, Kofi said sarcastically. They argued for an hour. Essie said nothing. Finally, Ya said, we'll vote Abena. No to selling. Kofi. Yes to selling. Essie. Everyone looked at her. She had been so quiet, they almost forgot she was there. Essie thought about her mother, who worked 3 jobs cleaning houses. She thought about the workers she saw in the lobby, security guards, cleaners, receptionists. If the company sold, they would all lose their jobs. No, she said softly, we don't sell. Kofi slammed his hand on the table. You don't even know anything about business. The vote is 2 against 1, Ya said. We're not selling. Kofi stood up and walked out. That night, Abena couldn't sleep. She went to her father's old office, which no one had touched since he died. It was exactly as he left it. Papers on the desk, his reading glasses, a photo of him receiving an award from the president. Abena looked through the drawers. She found files about Goldstein International. Her father had written notes in the margins. Too aggressive. Don't trust them. They'll destroy everything. There was also a file about Kofi's advertising agency. Her father had kept every newspaper article about Kofi's success. He had even saved a magazine cover that featured Kofi as 30 under 30 rising stars. In another drawer, she found school reports for Essie. A+ in mathematics, A+ in English, Dean's List at University of Ghana. Her father had been watching both of them. He cared. Abena felt something crack inside her chest. Meanwhile, Kofi was at a bar in Osu, drinking too much. His best friend Kwame sat with him. "Just take the money and run," Kwame said. "Why stress yourself?" "It's not about the money," Kofi muttered. I don't know, maybe I want to prove I'm as good as her, as Abena." "You are good, bro. You built your company from nothing." Kofi stared at his drink. "You know what the worst part is? I used to dream that one day my father would claim me publicly, that he would introduce me as his son. Now he's dead, and he's forcing me to work with his real family." "Maybe that's exactly why he did it," Kwame said. "Maybe he wanted you to have a family." Essie went to visit her mother's grave at Awudome Cemetery. She sat on the grass and talked to her mother like she always did. "Mama, I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. Abena is so smart and confident. Kofi is so angry, and I'm just me." The wind blew gently. "The letter said Papa watched me. Is that true? Did he really care?" She sat there until the sun set. 1 week later, chaos hit. Mr. Donker called an emergency meeting. "We have a problem. Goldstein International just bought 30% of our company's shares from the open market. They're now our biggest shareholder." "How is that possible?" Abena demanded. "Some of the board members sold their shares," Mr. Donker explained. "Goldstein offered them double the market price." Yaw looked grim. "With 30%, they can block any major decisions. And if they get to 51%, they can take over completely." "Who sold to them?" Kofi asked. Mr. Donker showed them a list. 3 board members. Abena's face went dark. "I know these men. They were my father's friends for 20 years. Why would they betray us?" "Money," Yaw said simply. "Goldstein is very good at finding people's price." "What do we do?" Essie asked. "We need to convince the remaining shareholders not to sell," Abena said. "We need to show them we can run this company better than Goldstein." "How?" Kofi said. "We've been fighting for 2 weeks. We don't even have a CEO yet." Abena took a deep breath. "Then we need to stop fighting." That afternoon, Abena did something she never did. She went to Kofi's office in Labone. It was small but creative, with colorful posters and young people working on computers. Kofi was surprised to see her. "What do you want?" "To talk," Abena said, "privately." They went to his office. It was cramped but personal, photos of his mother, awards from advertising competitions, a Bob Marley poster. Abena looked around. "You built this yourself?" "Yes. Started with just me and 1 laptop 5 years ago. Now we have 15 employees." "That's impressive." Kofi raised an eyebrow. "Are you actually complimenting me?" Abena sat down. "Look, I don't like you. You don't like me. But father was right about one thing. Goldstein will destroy everything he built. We can't let that happen." "So what do you suggest?" "A truce. We work together to save the company. After 2 years, if you still hate me, we can go our separate ways." Kofi studied her. "Why should I trust you?" "Because I found this in father's office." She handed him the file with all the articles about him. Kofi opened it slowly. He saw his father's handwriting. "My son, so proud." His eyes filled with tears. "He loved you," Abena said quietly. "He was just too much of a coward to show it publicly, like you said." Kofi wiped his eyes. "What about Essie?" "What about her?" "You dismissed her in the meeting, like she doesn't matter." Abena looked uncomfortable. I'm not good with people. I'm good with numbers and strategies." She voted with you, Kofi pointed out. She saved you. Abena was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "You're right, I need to apologize to her." That evening, Abena and Kofi went together to find Essie. She lived in a small apartment in Madina with 2 roommates. When she opened the door and saw both of them, she looked terrified. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," Abena said. I came to apologize. I was rude to you in the meeting. You had every right to speak." Essie was shocked. "Oh, thank you." "Can we come in?" Kofi asked gently. "We need to talk strategy." Essie's apartment was tiny, but very clean. There were textbooks everywhere. She was studying for a master's degree in social work at night. They sat in her small living room. "Goldstein is trying to take over," Abena explained. "We need to fight back, but I can't do it alone." Kofi added, "Neither can I, we need all 3 of us." Essie looked between them. "But what can I do? I don't know business." "You know people," Kofi said. "You understand what workers need. That's valuable." Abena nodded. "Father's letter said you know what it's like to have nothing. That's what this company forgot. We focused on profits and forgot about people." Essie thought about this. "So you want me to help make the company more human?" "Exactly," Abena said. For the first time, Essie smiled. "I can do that." They worked through the night at the office. Ya brought coffee and stayed to help. "We need to do 3 things," Abena said, writing on the whiteboard. 1. Stop more board members from selling to Goldstein. 2. Buy back shares if we can. 3. Prove to everyone that we're serious about running this company. "How do we stop the board members?" Essie asked. Ya had an idea. "We offer them something Goldstein can't, a voice. Let's invite them to help shape the company's future." "And we need to show profits," Kofi said. "Goldstein is telling people we're 3 kids who don't know what we're doing. We need to prove them wrong." Abena looked at Kofi with new respect. "You have marketing expertise. Can you rebrand the company, make it modern?" "I can try," Kofi said. "And Essie," Abena turned to her, "I want you to talk to the workers, find out what they need. Father was so focused on growth, he might have missed things." Essie nodded eagerly. Over the next 2 weeks, they worked harder than they ever had in their lives. Kofi created a new marketing campaign, Mensah Cocoa, grown with pride, shared with love. It featured real cocoa farmers and their families. Essie visited every farm and every factory. She talked to hundreds of workers. She discovered that many were being underpaid, had no health insurance, and worked in unsafe conditions. She brought this to Abena. "If we fix this, it will cost $200 million, Abena said, looking at the numbers. "If we don't fix it, we're no better than Goldstein," Essie replied. Abena made the decision. Do it. They announced a new worker benefits program, health insurance, fair wages, and safety upgrades. The workers celebrated. Videos went viral on social media. Kofi's marketing campaign showed Ghana that Mensah Cocoa was changing. But Goldstein fought back. They started rumors that the company was going bankrupt, that the 3 heirs were fighting, that workers would lose their jobs. The share price started dropping. "We're losing," Mr. Donker said grimly. "Goldstein is buying more shares as the price falls. They're at 42% now." "We need a miracle," Kofi muttered. Ya came to the office late one night. He looked excited. "I found something," he said. "Your father had a secret plan." He showed them documents. Before he died, Kwame Mensah had set up a trust fund with 15% of the company's shares. Those shares couldn't be sold without all 3 children agreeing. "That means Goldstein can only get to 85% maximum," Ya explained. "They can't have full control." "But they can still control the board at 51%, Abena said. "True, but look at this." Ya showed them another document. "Your father also gave 5% shares to the workers through a union trust. Those shares can vote." Essie's eyes went wide. "The workers have voting power." "Yes, if we get the workers' union to vote with us, we have 20% total." Goldstein has 42%. We just need 31% more from the remaining board and shareholders. That's still a lot, Kofi said. But it's possible, Abena said, her mind racing. Especially if we can show we're making the company better. The annual shareholder meeting was scheduled for Saturday at the Kempinski Hotel. It would be the biggest meeting in company history. Goldstein sent their CEO, a cold man named Richard Berg. He flew in from New York with a team of lawyers. The Mensah siblings prepared their presentation for a week. The night before the meeting, they were all nervous. What if we fail? Essie whispered. Then we fail together, Kofi said. Abena added, but we won't fail. Father believed in us, that's why he did this. The hotel ballroom was packed. Shareholders, board members, press, workers, everyone came. Richard Berg presented first. He was smooth and confident. Mensah Cocoa is stuck in the past, he said. Under Goldstein, we will modernize, expand globally, and triple profits in 5 years. Our offer is simple. Sell now for $4.5 billion or watch the company decline under inexperienced leadership. He showed charts and graphs. Everything looked professional. Then it was the siblings' turn. Abena spoke first. She was nervous but steady. Mr. Berg is right about one thing. This company needs change. But change doesn't mean abandoning our values. My father built this company on relationships with farmers, fair prices, and quality. Goldstein will cut costs, fire workers, and squeeze farmers. We will not. Kofi presented next. He showed the new marketing campaign and the social media response. Young people across Ghana were supporting Mensah Cocoa again. Then Essie spoke. She was terrified, but she thought about the workers she met. She told their stories. I met Akasua. She's 52. She's worked at our Takarati factory for 30 years. She has diabetes but couldn't afford medicine because we didn't provide health insurance. Until now. I met Kwame. He lost 2 fingers in a machine because safety equipment was too expensive. Until now. I met Amma. She's worked on our farm since she was 20. She's 60 now. She never had a pension until now. The room was silent. Goldstein will see these people as costs to cut, Essie said, her voice shaking but strong. We see them as family, that's the difference. The room erupted in applause. Even some board members were wiping their eyes. Then came the vote. The workers' union voted with the siblings, 5%. Several board members who were moved by Essie's speech voted with them. The numbers came in slowly. 45%, 48%, 49%. Finally, 52% voted to keep the company with the Mensah family. Goldstein lost. Richard Berg's face went red with anger. He stormed out. The room celebrated. Abena, Kofi, and Essie hugged each other for the first time. We did it, Kofi whispered. Together, Abena said. 6 months later, things were different. They agreed to rotate the CEO position. Abena went first, focusing on financial stability. Kofi would be next, focusing on marketing and innovation. Essie would be third, focusing on social impact. The company was growing again. Workers were happy. Farmers were getting better prices. One evening, Abena stayed late at the office. Ya brought her coffee. You should go home, he said gently. Just finishing this report, she replied. Ya sat down. Can I ask you something personal? Sure. Are you happy? Abena looked up, surprised. What kind of question is that? A genuine one. You've spent your whole life chasing success. Now you have it. Are you happy? Abena thought about it. I'm different. I spent years angry at my father for not being present. But now I understand. He was trying to build something bigger than himself, and he wanted us to continue it together. That's not an answer, Ya said with a small smile. Abena smiled back. Yes, I'm happy, for the first time in a long time. Ya's smile grew. Good, because I was wondering if you'd like to have dinner sometime, not business, just dinner. Abena's heart skipped. Like a date. Yes, like a date. She felt her face warm. I'd like that. Kofi finally introduced his mother to Abena and Essie. It was awkward at first, but Auntie Grace was kind. Your father loved all of you, she told them over dinner at Kofi's house. He was a complicated man, he made mistakes, but his love was real. Auntie Comfort, Abena's mother, was harder to convince. But slowly, seeing her daughter happy for the first time, she softened. Essie's roommates moved out, so Kofi helped her get a nicer apartment in cantonments. Abena insisted on paying for her master's degree. Your family, Abena said simply. This is what family does. 2 years after their father's death, on the exact day the will requirement ended, they gathered again in Yaw's office. Legally, you're now free to split the company and go your separate ways, Yaw said. What do you want to do? The 3 siblings looked at each other. Kofi spoke first. I vote to stay together. Essie nodded. Me too. Abena smiled. Unanimous, we stay together. Yaw pulled out 3 documents. Then sign these. It makes your partnership permanent. As they signed, Yaw pulled out one more envelope. Your father left this. It was only to be opened if all 3 of you chose to stay together. They opened it together. Inside was a photo of the 3 of them as children, Abena at 8, Kofi at 4, Essie as a baby. They didn't remember this photo being taken. Their father must have had them all in the same place once, separately, and combined the images. On the back, he wrote, My 3 treasures, I failed you in life, but I pray you succeed each other in love. Money divides, family multiplies, choose each other, always. Your father. They all cried. 5 years later, Mensah Cocoa was worth $8 billion and was the most respected company in West Africa. Abena married Yaw. They had a daughter they named Comfort after Abena's mother. Kofi expanded his advertising agency, but kept it small and creative. He never married but was the favorite uncle to all the kids. Essie finished her master's and started a foundation helping children from poor families get education. She met a teacher named Kwesi who shared her passion. They got married at a small ceremony with both families present. The 3 siblings had dinner together every Sunday, rotating houses. They fought sometimes, they disagreed often, but they never broke apart. Because they learned what their father tried to teach them, that real wealth isn't money in the bank. Real wealth is family that chooses to stay. Real wealth is forgiveness that makes room for love. Real wealth is working together to build something bigger than yourself. And that wealth lasts forever.